listened I listened to a podcast the other day in the car, and this guy is a chef. So he used to be a chef for celebrities and so on, and then got onto the kind of like more keto carnivore diet and started seeing the benefits for himself. Um, he also has a young family now and so on. And anyway, so he's now full time. And one of the things that he noticed is most of us don't really like to eat organ meats and so on.
Yeah.
And there are all of those benefits. Anyway, so he's now developed a range of product which incorporates organ. So it's actually basically like a salt or a condiment, uh,
Okay.
like a spice.
So it's
So it's
like
a pity I can't.
stuffing.
No, no. I mean, it's literally
Yeah.
something that you
Okay.
kind of put over your meat. But the the flavors of the different organs, and then he's got kind of like these different mixes and so on. And that was it is so fascinating to me that the movement is gaining kind of that level of attention. That
Yeah.
people are starting to develop these type of products and so on. Um, and pity that I'm sitting at the arse end of the world, and to get that product delivered here, if
Yeah.
possible, would be very expensive. Yeah.
Oh, if you find the link or whatever, send it to me. I'll see what what I can find. But it was something I thought about recently because I told you I went to a vegetarian restaurant on Saturday.
Yes.
Like, where are the carnivore restaurants? And I don't just mean a steakhouse. I mean a place which exclusively serves, carnivore, as in animal-based foods. No vegetables, no potatoes. Where are those places?
I actually think that I've seen that there is one such place in the UK, and I think it's in London.
Okay, I'm gonna have to have a look. I'm gonna have to go there.
Yes,
I'll be in London
yes.
in a week and a half. Maybe I must go
There we go. There we go.
go find it.
So you can
Um,
go look for that. But correct, because it is so difficult to go into a normal, even a what's considered a meat, like a steakhouse, a proper steakhouse.
yeah,
Just go in there and say, okay, I only want the steak. I don't want anything else. Please
no
don't put any
sauce.
garnish on my,
Yeah,
no sauce, no basting, no garnish.
yeah,
It's that is difficult to do,
yeah.
to actually get right. Because invariably there's, I don't know, some parsley or some lettuce or whatever that you have to
Yes,
take off your plate, or little fancy bits of carrot shavings or things like that, So yes, I think it'll start a movement,
yeah. Carnivore
a
restaurants. Was
petition.
also I was watching Bella, the steak and butter girl, um, her carnivore pancake recipe, which is just eggs and gelatin and collagen powder. Um,
Yeah,
and they look very good. I think I'm gonna have to try them at some point. But I don't need that kind of thing right now. At the moment, I'm quite happy with what I'm eating, so I don't need to add
yeah.
that kind of thing. But she, at the end of her video, she was serving it to her boyfriend or her fiance, and she said, "Welcome to Bella's Carnivore Cafe. What can I get you today?" And she like made a big deal about it. But it was just what I saw some of the comments saying, "We need a real Bella's Carnivore Cafe." Like,
Definitely. So
yeah,
the place that you're looking for is eatpluck.com.
eat
Eat, Pluck.
it
So,
doesn't sound
so
very appetizing.
it doesn't sound very appetizing. So pluck is, he explained how we got to the name is pluck. Um, in the old days, they would, if you ordered meat, they would ask if do you want your pluck with that?
Okay,
And the
and that's
pluck
your
referred to
organs.
all the organs and the whatever, etc. And then
Okay.
later on, pluck was associated with poultry, obviously, with chickens. Because, but anyway, so
Okay.
eat pluck. You can see there.
I'm just sending it to myself on WhatsApp so I don't lose it.
You can see the products there. Um, anyway, really interesting. So we were
Mm.
talking a little bit earlier about the Olympic Games and
Yes.
the unfortunate event of the announcer getting relieved of his duties
Yeah.
because of a silly comment. Um, Yay for Tatiana, who got South Africa
Yes.
first gold
I watched
medal.
it
Very
live. I
happy
was
with
I
that.
was so happy to be
Really,
watching
did
it.
you?
Yeah, I put it on and I
Okay,
was like, I
fantastic.
said, I shouted to Matthew, I said, come watch South Africa get a medal. And then he was like, oh, we're going to get a medal. And he stood there. I said, it's Tatiana, we're going to get a medal. But then when she got the gold, because it wasn't looking like she was in the lead until that last,
Absolutely.
like the last
Wow.
stroke, she got to the end. So yeah, that
Yes.
was amazing.
So anyway, um, on that theme, the other day, I don't know what made me think of it, but I thought, hang on, Olympic Games, we always talk about we know the origin of the Olympic Games and then the modern Olympic Games. But I thought to myself, when did women start participating in the Olympics? Was that because I can't remember from the
Yeah.
original Olympic Games. Anyway, so
So you're going to
I
tell me
asked
when
my
it
friend
was.
ChatGPT. Yeah, so the modern Olympic Games first held in 1896 in Athens. And amazingly, women were allowed to compete in 1900, which was also incidentally held in Paris. But they
That was
were
the
only
second
allowed to,
year,
that was the second
the second Olympics, or modern Olympics.
Olympics
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
modern Olympics, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were on it quite quickly,
Yeah.
to allow women to participate. And they allowed them to participate in 5 different sports.
And how
Would
many
you like
sports
to?
were there at the time?
That I don't know. I
Okay,
didn't
because
because
I
my
know
mind
they
was
just
blown.
keep
So,
adding.
oh
So
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a
So I
million
think they
sports.
they
Yeah.
take away and then they
Yeah.
add others depending on popularity and so on.
Yeah.
But what sport do you think that women competed in 1900 in Paris? So I've already
Um,
said that there are 5.
synchronized swimming, ribbon gymnastics.
I don't think either of those two were a thing in 1900.
Walking, power walking.
Power walking. No, no. So I, so
Shot
one or
put.
two are pretty. No, so the 5 sports that they were allowed to participate in: tennis,
Hmm.
okay, sailing, croquet.
Okay. Croquet was an
I'm sure
Olympic
that that
sport.
was quite popular in the 1900s. Equestrianism
Okay.
and golf.
Interesting.
It
What
is
did they
really
wear?
interesting.
Did they wear skirts?
Aha! Yeah, I think in 1900 they would still have worn long, very
Yeah.
long skirts. I don't know.
I can't
Oh
picture
my
a golfer
goodness.
in a big like hoop skirt.
Yes, yes. Um, so golf is pretty easy, I think, in the hoop skirt compared to tennis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would have been, so the level of tennis that they played would probably have been, but then also you think of it, what did the men wear? They probably still wore ties, longs and ties when they played
Yeah.
tennis in 1900.
Yeah. With
Um,
coattails.
yes, but I think to think that the 2 sports that I would never have gotten there was sailing.
Yeah.
to think that women would have competed
I'm
in
also
sailing
surprised at that.
and equestrianism. So you would think that horseback riding was obviously something that basically everybody on the planet was still doing.
Yeah.
No, mind you, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe because that was the common mode of transport. That's the equivalent of thinking everybody today has a driver's license because cars are the so, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, for people to, I don't know if they did show jumping, what is equestrianism, what it actually entailed. But okay, cool. So it's nice to know that women have been participating in the Olympics for almost as long as the modern Olympics have been going.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Um, I saw that there were a couple of, or there are a couple of sports which allow women who were formerly men uh, to participate in the sports in the Olympics, and I find that really strange.
Are there any transgender people competing this
Yes,
year? Because I saw
yes.
that that swimmer, the Canadian swimmer, I think was not allowed to compete.
Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
So I don't think swimming, but there's something like boxing or one of those sports.
My gosh.
Yes, yes. And you would think
Okay.
that those
That's like
sporting
the
codes will be a
worst.
little bit.
Like
Yes.
swimming, you could almost excuse, but like boxing
No,
is a contact sport.
no, no. So even the sports that we think that you
Mm.
could almost
No,
excuse. I
I mean,
mean,
I'm saying that facetiously just because I'm thinking
yeah,
boxing, like, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, yeah. Because it's a contact sport, you
Yes.
know. So, but no, I think there should be very, very strict um,
Mm.
rules about that. Um,
Yeah.
that if you want to change your gender, then you know what, you have to accept that this is something that you're going to have to sacrifice. You are not
Yeah.
going to be allowed to um, come and take that away because it's doesn't matter. You can't argue that away that there are benefits or advantages
Yeah. Or going
of
through
being one or the other
puberty
gender.
as a male with testosterone. Yeah, there's just so
Yeah,
many. I mean, the biological size of, I think, of your hands, of certain muscles in your body. There's a whole bunch of things that
correct,
are very
correct.
clearly
Yeah.
XX or XY.
So I'm trying to think, are there any sports where it would be an advantage to have transitioned from a woman to a man that will clearly give you an advantage? Or is it
um,
only men pretending to be women that have the advantage?
Rhythmic gymnastics. I don't know. I don't know. Or synchronized
Yeah,
swimming. I don't know. But then again, like lung capacity of a man is generally bigger. I don't know.
mm. I don't think I honestly can't think of anything because the
Yeah.
rest of it. So let's say, for example, in a lot of the gymnastics type things. I mean, you look at those guys. I mean, last night I watched some of the gymnastics, and you look at
Yeah.
those guys on the floor, on the rings, on the beat. Wow. And you
Yeah.
think to yourself, okay, cool. I can't really see women being having an advantage because they are generally more flexible.
Mm.
I mean, and that sort of thing. You train for these things from a very young age, and you are obviously as flexible as you can potentially be. So yeah, I can't think of any sport where women would naturally have an advantage to pretend that they're a dude.
I mean, are there any sports where like the world record is held by a woman rather than a man? Like any, I'm just trying because when you look at the world records, of the swimming,
I
for
don't know.
example, the men's are always better than the women's.
In terms of
Running,
times,
yeah,
yeah,
running
yeah,
world
yeah.
records, the
Mm,
men always trump the women. So are there any sports where a woman holds the record? I don't think so.
mm, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I and I cannot even try to make a joke about that and mention something in case I get cancelled for
You
saying the
can't
wrong things. Like,
you can't get fired for saying it on our podcast.
yeah.
I might give you a
But
disapproving look if I disagree,
if
but
if so, I've got a few. If bitching was an Olympic sport, women would have an advantage. No, no,
shopping.
honestly, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Anyway, um, I really enjoy the Olympics a little bit more than I originally thought I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it is fascinating. There are some of those sporting codes, like you said, wouldn't really have expected it to be Olympic sports, but watching the competition is
Yeah.
fun, nevertheless.
I mean, we were also talking about it. It's amazing that what I like is that they're quite quick. Like nothing takes a very long time. Even
Yes,
watching the sevens rugby, all of these things are quick. You get an outcome really quickly. It's like easy watching, but it's also just athletes that are top of their game, the best of the best, and you're just watching these incredible people just
yeah,
break records or just do phenomenal things in front of your eyes, and it's
yeah,
from one sport to the next. So for example, last night I was watching the swimming and I watched the gymnastics, and you just think these are the top people. And then it's also quite heartbreaking. I don't know if you saw you said you were watching the men's gymnastics, the China's
I
devastating
did.
loss in the team, the group
I
gymnastics.
did,
I
yeah.
felt so bad for that guy. But
Yeah,
it's just part of the thing. You can have a bad day and
it comes
that's
down
it.
to just that,
Yeah.
yeah, that one movement or that, you know,
And it's because
um,
they're trying such ambitious things. I mean, they're doing things that
geez,
are out of the
yeah,
realm of reality. And so he tried something ambitious and it failed. And yeah, shame.
yeah. No, it was heartbreaking, but you know, you, I mean, obviously there's got to be a winner,
Yeah.
but you think about all the training and all the sacrifice and et cetera, that has gone
Yeah.
into, and this is that moment.
Yeah. And he probably nailed
Um,
it in the rehearsal.
exactly.
Yeah.
Probably nailed it so many times to get
Yeah.
comfortable with, yes, I'm going to execute this. Um, Somebody mentioned the other day that there was, I think, somewhere in the mid '80s, was now I can't remember whether it's an Australian or a New Zealander that participated in speed skating at the
Mm.
Olympics, and through so, but it's a country where you wouldn't expect speed skater to come from. They typically, it's the Netherlands and a few of the other Scandinavian countries and that sort of thing which dominate. Um, and this guy, through obviously a lot of determination, etc., made it to the Olympics and then made it to the finals. But there was some luck involved in terms of, I don't know, somebody got disqualified,
Mm-hmm.
and that meant that, okay, cool, he got a spot, and then etc. etc. And in the final, he was dead last by a reasonable margin. I think, I don't know, five or six people in the final, and he was dead last, well behind the rest of the skaters, and they all fell on the final corner, and he could just
Like glide
go
through.
past them and kind of glide through, and there he is, Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
and that sort of thing also. And apparently did some motivational talks and that sort of thing later on uh, in his career and so on. And he goes like, you know what, I've got this medal. Um, do I say I was lucky, or is it all the years of
Yeah,
actual, grit and determination and so
yeah,
on, and then that combination of both. Anyway, so these kind of things happen on a stage like that,
yeah,
but it's fascinating and it's wonderful to watch, um,
it is.
and to really to really revel a little bit in kind of that phenomenal talent that you see displayed there.
Yeah.
When are we getting into the athletics? When's the track and field starting?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
even know.
I don't know the schedule at all. I've
Yes.
just been, instead of doom watching the news, I've been putting on the Olympics in the evening. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I better check that because I was caught a little bit off guard, not knowing that the sevens rugby actually started before the opening ceremony.
Yes. So it was, the finals was the first thing, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
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 And then kind of realized, okay, cool, it makes sense, to manage to go through all the group stages and so on. There's a couple of
Yeah.
the events where the preliminaries have to start before the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
You say you quite enjoyed the opening
I
ceremony.
did. I thought it was quite fun. And I think it's phenomenal what they did. I mean, I did hear that people who had paid exorbitant amounts for tickets to watch it saw bugger all.
Really?
Because of the way it was set up, is there was something happening at different points of the river. So if you have a ticket to stand at this point and there's nothing happening in front of you, you're just seeing the boats go past. You're not really seeing anything, you're not
Okay.
hearing the music, because at certain stations things were happening. Um, I thought it was very clever the way that they wound it all together. So they had like the central character, the kind of Renaissance dressed dude with the mask on, Phantom of the Opera ish thing. And he was the one getting the torch to the people who are going to take it to the end or whatever. So it was him like doing parkour through the streets of Paris, jumping over buildings, and then he would come across something like Lady Gaga performing some French song on the steps, and then running on and getting to another point, and then there was a mixture of like video, um things that they'd pre-recorded and things that had AI or anyway, like graphics generation, whatever,
Hmm.
animations. And so when he went into the Louvre, all the paintings came alive and they were walking through and they were watching out the window what was happening on the river, and then it would jump somewhere else. So it was just really well put together and quite
Okay.
fun to experience and
Okay.
watch. I mean, everyone's harping on about the fashion show with the drag queens, and that's like it was one little piece of the whole ceremony that got all the
Which
attention.
is a pity. Which is a pity that they had to include that to kind of, yeah, because as you say, this is what everybody is now talking about. They're not talking
Yeah.
about all the other great things that happened.
And
So
Celine Dion's finale was phenomenal. On the Eiffel Tower, she nailed the song. It was some French, I think Edith Piaf or something.
really,
She absolutely killed it. It was incredible. Singing in the rain with a pianist next to her on the Eiffel Tower. It was so good.
my word, I thought
Yeah.
her health was such that she can't perform anymore.
That's what a lot of people were saying. It's like she's just come back and it was so good. It was very good.
Was it Celine Dion or
Was it an AI generation?
was it? Is it like the Joe Biden that grows 2 feet taller
It looked
every?
and sounded like Celine Dion, but I
Okay,
wasn't there. I
okay,
didn't touch it. I don't know.
okay. Well, the way that you describe this whole thing is I'm almost sorry I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Um, by the way, did you know that the Lady Gaga kind of performance, all those black and pink ostrich feathers, you know where they come from? South
South
Africa,
Africa.
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They all was very proudly tweeted by the new Minister of Agriculture yesterday that with a photo, by the way, these obviously come from Oudtshoorn. Um, uh, Another interesting thing, I don't know if you saw that, but some of these countries um, you know, smaller countries with, and I forget which one of the African countries, the entire delegation there on the boat was 72 people. I think it may have been Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
72 people or whatever, um, but only 7 or 9 of them were athletes
Uh,
participating. the rest are the rest are obviously just.
yeah,
So really reminds me of these motorcades, which they are also pretty famous for.
yeah.
Um,
The
with
support crew.
well, the support crew and the yeah, we saw somebody else has 25 cars in their
Yeah.
motorcade, so we have to have 30. I think the record is somebody I saw the other day with close to 100 cars in the motorcade.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh, there was
so
one other thing which I think
fascinating.
you might
Yeah. Mm,
enjoy from the opening ceremony. You must definitely try watch it if you can. I saw they've taken it down from all the YouTube channels now because of all the drama, which is very disappointing. But
mm.
anyway, the you know the band Gojira. I don't know. They're a metal band. Gojira, I think. Gojira. And they performed on the building that Marie Antoinette, I think she was killed in or she lived in or something. But they were like hanging from the windows. They had like things keeping them on, and they did this
Really?
wild like metal performance to an opera singer from Carmen coming across on like a boat, and there were headless Marie Antoinettes in the window. So there was like these bodies and holding the head, and the heads were
Gee,
singing.
wow.
It was really good. It was really well put together,
Okay.
and everything was great. I actually think it's quite disappointing that the only thing people are talking about is that catwalk fashion show piece of it, because that was, and it was kind of towards the end. It was like the last little thing before Celine Dion's performance, I think, and I don't know. It was like a
Okay.
small part of a really big performance that was very well put together. And they hadn't practiced it because it was in the streets of Paris. They had not done a full rehearsal. Everything had been practiced in other locations, and then they suddenly have to perform live
Mm.
on the side of the river. So I think it was phenomenal what they put together. But
Yeah. And really sad, like you say, a small part of it comes and ruins
yeah,
you know, the whole thing. And look, I I obviously whether the associations that people make with that part of it, whether that is correct or incorrect, I think is neither here nor there, and so on. I think it's just again proven that the um, the idea or the concept of we have to please everybody in everything that we do is not going to work. It is it is it was unnecessary to include certain parts or elements of that in in an event of this nature or you know prominence, because what was the point that they were trying to make?
yeah,
That it everybody would have been better off if that part was left out. You don't always have to make
yeah,
with everything make a stand or
yeah.
um,
I do get that side of it, but also I don't know if maybe I was just in a certain frame of mind while I was watching. It felt fun. It felt like a carnival. You know, you think of like an old Parisian carnival with weird things, weird people, colorful. Like it felt like that more than it was trying to push an agenda in my mind. I mean, I see that
okay,
lots of people are thinking it's something different, but it felt like fun. I didn't feel like they were trying to, I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
okay.
But maybe
I
it's because
obviously
I saw it contextually as part of the whole thing and not just that one little piece as like this was the main part of the performance. But I
hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's no ways I can just go and watch it and,
Yes,
make up my own mind because I've
you have the
now
influence.
been
Yeah.
kind of primed to, and you may actually have been primed into thinking that this is just part of it's. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, it's just sad for me that, whatever the reason or intention was behind that, that this outcry, etc., overshadows the entire thing
Yeah.
now at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because honestly, up to you telling me about this, I haven't come across any of the positive and the wow, this was so phenomenal,
Yeah.
etc., etc. It's just all focused on the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got another week or so, week and a half to go of the Olympics. Let's hope that there are more phenomenal moments and
Yeah.
records.
Does South
And
Africa have any more chances?
I don't know, maybe in track and field, we still,
Okay.
I think, have a few really good athletes there.
Because what have we?
Um,
We've got a gold and a bronze. Is that our medal standing?
as far as I know, yeah,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as I know.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll
Anyway,
enjoy it.
good luck to
And
the team. Yes.
thank you. And maybe next time we can talk more about carnivore diet because that's all I can think about at the moment.
Eat your steak. Eat your
Thank
steak.
you.
Fantastic. Thanks.